Hey, it's Mr. Red Dragon, 5 for free, and welcome back to me gaming. We're gonna go on an epic quest with the Hobbits, and the Doorstep kicking ass. Yeah. Alright, so how's your guys' day today? Today we are back, and we are going to be doing the epic schmog. So, it's been an interesting month for me, or interesting couple years actually. So, it's interesting because there's so much that happens that I'm not too sure of, but yeah, it's really interesting. So, we are entering the second last level. So I did get a new controller so I can do the 2-player, and the 2-player trophy I'll be doing in the bonus level since that's the easiest place to do it. So
the company had arrived
the
at the
second
main
controller
gates
is a
of the
snake bite.
Of Erebor.
What was it? It's like a snake bite gamepad S4 controller. The only thing is, if you're gonna get it, it is smaller, so I think it's made for a lot of female gamers that have smaller hands, because, you know, on average, women do have smaller hands, so it'd be good for them. But another thing to note is the gamepad S4 does not have a jack port for headphone users, so it is more of a couch co-op controller, or if you prefer single-playing games, yeah, it's good too. It is a wired controller, which I do enjoy. So if you don't know me, in my preferences when it comes to controllers and stuff, I do strongly prefer wired over what is it? So I strongly prefer wired controllers over wireless, and the reason being is that I find that when you have it plugged into your system, you'll find less input lag, and that is kind of important since a lot of games can sometimes be more difficult if you don't have that there with you. So it is frustrating because I know there will be times when I've played games and the input lag will be more frustrating, because it's one of those things that it's like you're not trying to do it on purpose, but yeah. So what I find interesting is so you got that, and then so another thing I want to point out too is, so like with wired controllers too, for if you do have a wireless controller like the DualShocks or whatever, a good thing that is helpful as well is to have your USB plugged in, like the charger, because even that will help with input lag from being prevented, and so I do find that very helpful. That again. That guy looked like a. Maybe I have all this thing right now. Okay, yeah, I guess I gotta get that later. Alright, so we gotta go to Hammer Dude. Or Hammer Bro. So that is something I do want to clarify, is that like I do play because it is easier for me. And because I do play games that are or like fast-paced action games and stuff, like, you know, games such as, you know, Devil May Cry and games like that. It's more beneficial too because it makes it more easier to kind of incorporate, like, it's more better to... Oh shit. I thought I could jump out. I didn't make it in time. I thought I could have jumped to the bottom, but oh well. Let's go back to Dory. He's up here. Hopefully that doesn't send me back too far. Alright, so this is where I can get before we go back down. Alright, let's get Bilbo. Bilbo, yeah, so if you never know, so there's a song by Leonard Nimoy, the original Spock. Rest in peace, for he is no longer with us. But he did a song called Bilbo Baggins that was based on the book. It's probably one of the best songs. Like, it's kind of interesting because in the book it goes to greater lengths to like how the fact that like amongst everyone, Bilbo was kind of a badass. You know, like he didn't really put up with everyone's shit, but at the same time it was just kind of interesting because it's like, really, do you have characters that like do that? But what I find interesting too, so I noticed in a lot of storytelling, a lot of characters tend to have a little issue with I guess like their storytelling, I guess. I think there was something here. Yeah, alright, so you want to do this now because if you get these stairs picked up, then you'll miss this. That is that. Yeah. The reason why you want to get it now is because you'll actually miss it. Like I said. Alright, so. Alright. Alright, so this will be there. Alright, we just this one. So out of all the games I know, Lego Hobbit's not that bad. I don't find it as tedious as like as the other games, I guess, because I know for me the other free games that there was they were pretty tedious in like the scale, I guess. So it's pretty difficult to keep up with. I don't think that's the fault on the developers. I think it's just like one of those things where it's like, I guess like how they see it is they're trying so hard to kind of keep up with, you know, the open world aspect, which in a way open world games are a double-edged sword. They either work or they don't, you know. It's interesting because there will be games that are so long that a lot of people get drained from just playing them. And I know that like that has happened with some people too. And it's a very common thing to get, you know, puckered out from stuff like that. And it's not essentially like the people's fault for that that happening, but I do know that like people do get drained from long games. And I think it's an interesting experience to note that like when experiencing stuff like that, it's really notable because not everyone will have the same experiences, but also at the same time, with that being said, it's
And all
very
those who doubted
interesting.
us through this day.
So there's something I also want to mention. So copyright strikes. So this is a weird thing that I don't understand. So YouTube's been having copyright strikes with, you know, people that are, you know, claiming they're musicians and stuff. Okay, whatever. The issue I have with is if you're going to get copyright striked on a game, then how come there is nothing to ensure your safety from copyright? Because now that games have a share function, you know, if something like, let's say music, for instance. So I got a copyright the other day from a studio called Sona or Sonia or whatever the fuck. So they copyrighted one of my Dragon's Dogma videos. Okay, I'm like, well, alright. I never heard of them. I'm trying to figure out who the hell they are. So I guess they copyrighted one of the songs called the Song of, or like a Coil of Light, which is one of the songs used in like it's used in the final boss of Dark Arisen. Now the thing I find weird about this is because it's in a game, you know, like I understand like the copyright stuff if I was listening to music from a different source, but if it's implemented in the game, I should have been safe from copyright, shouldn't I? Or is there something else going on that I'm unaware of? Because I do know that like you know, I do get that like a lot of people find it very frustrating with, you know, music and stuff lately, where it's like they're just constantly copywriting people for like not really any good solid reasoning. So like I said, like mine was based on music from a boss. But what's weird is I have another video with that same boss included, by the way, and they're not striked. So it happens to be one of the videos that are getting striked, as another video is, you know, not being striked, I guess. It's confusing because, you know, like I think clarity would be good to have, especially if for whatever reason you're, you know, starting off as a YouTuber, it's good to have some clarification of what's going on. Oh, okay. Because I think that's an issue that I have with YouTube at the moment, is there's no clarification on how copyright works.
Break it down!
And so if with game media, because gaming is widely accepted, then what is the protection laws, and should Sony and Xbox and those with share functions at least,
Where is it?
It's no good.
you know,
Can't be opened before.
what is it? Like they should at least have some form of like here's what I think they should do is,
You can't give up now.
so here's what they should do is, if a game has licensed music and stuff, the developers need to let them know. Because I think that way, you know, because there are gaming YouTubers and there's even, you know, Twitch streamers and whatnot. And honestly,
It's the light of the moon, the last moon of autumn.
Come on!
end of the level? Oh wow, that is a short level, and I am not too sure why I'm missing a lot of coinage. How to earn your reward. Alright. Yeah, that's... Oh, that's under half. So yeah, I guess you can see why that's more difficult, I guess. Alright. Continue story.
The last light of Durin's day had revealed.
Alright, so I'll see you guys next time on the next Mr. Red Dragon 543.